Welcome guys to another video. I feel good, man. This video, guys, was inspired by me finishing a book by James Clear, Atomic Habits, guys. If you haven't read it, read it. If you've read it before, and then there's gonna be a short review, guys, just on my take, what I picked up from the book and how it affected my life, because I did change my habits, a couple of years back, and very good results, guys. Hella results. So this video is just for a recap for ones who read it, and for those who don't read, this is sort of a summary of what I think James Clear was trying to say on the book, guys. So, guys, the reality is your habits are everything, all right? So we all have the same 24 hours, right? And what differentiates the millionaire or the healthy guy or the fitter guy or the smarter person is in what they put in or how they use those hours, those minutes daily. That compiles over time and makes them look like they've got magic years later. But the reality is, it starts off by what they are doing in the morning, and maybe it ends off with what they were doing at night on a daily basis, guys. On a daily basis. So when you as an outsider look at the person, you thinking they're from a great family or they're on some crazy voodoo that you don't have, and all of a sudden you start looking and sounding like a hater simply because you do not know how to budget your time and use your 24 hours well, guys. So whilst you were going to the club to play, someone else was building their future, and thus far, a couple of years later, they drive in the big cars, live in the better house, and you somehow don't understand how that happened, guys. So it's in the habits, guys, on what we do on a daily basis. So basically, that's what James Clear is trying to talk about, that your habits are everything and they compile. So that small percentage, guys, of doing something better on a consistent basis, eventually the graph shoots up, guys, and boom, you end up seeing the big results. But just like an iceberg, guys, like the Titanic one, right? There's so much that happens behind the scenes, submerged, that by the time you see the mention and the big cause, you don't understand that there were habits built over time that eventually got this person to a millionaire status. But you wouldn't know that because you were not spending time with this person on a day-to-day basis. If you've been lucky to be around a sort of see a relative, friend, or an uncle who showed you small spurts of how they use their weeks, their days, and over time you could see them grow and get better. All of a sudden they just move different, they talk different, they've got more assets here and there, the house is looking cleaner. You sort of saw the change. I got lucky enough to saw one of my cousin who started off as a teacher, did a music group, and made millions, guys. I saw him come up. I saw his suits change over time, guys. I saw him build one little house to a medium house to 2 mansions, guys. I saw that in a span of 20 years in front of my own eyes, guys. And I had the advantage of the pleasure of sometimes being with him on a daily basis, not too long, maybe just be with him for 2 days and not see him for 6 months, be with him again for 2 to 3 days, not see him again for 8 months, over 20 years, guys. And I can tell you this, guys, it is true. What you do on a daily basis shows eventually, guys, through results that people think you might have hit the lotto, guys, but that's not what happened. So basically, guys, James Clear is literally saying, guys, your habits are everything. Now, sometimes, guys, it is so hard to change your habits in the environment that you're in, guys. If your neighbors drink, Your neighbor's neighbor drinks. That community is just all about drinking and smoking, and you have a weakness of drinking. You used to drink only on weekends. You started hanging with these guys. Now they offering you alcohol on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday. The best thing you can do for yourself, guys, is you need to change your environment, guys. You need to then make the decision to say, you know what, I'm weak. Being around these people, I don't hate them, but their habits are just not in line with the person that I want to be. So for that reason, I'm picking up my bags, I'm packing up, and I'm leaving, guys. Changing your environment, guys, is very, very important for you to build your habits, guys. And another pointer, you have to want to change. You know what I mean? You have to say it within yourself, believe it, and actually want it, that, you know what, I don't want to smoke anymore, And once you've made the decision, you cue everything to support you not to smoke, When you close off that smoking habit, you need to then cover it with a habit that will sort of kill this bad one and grow a good one. For example, like if you crave a cigarette, maybe now you've told yourself, I'm going to chew some bubble gum, or I'm going to buy coffee. Each time I feel like I want to smoke, let me just, cue this up with a craving for smoking. It's queued up with making coffee, or biting off a bubble gum, and over time, it's going to shut this off and pick this up, which is way better, I suppose. Drinking more coffee is better than smoking every day, So the environment matters, guys. It's not because those with super habits, good habits, are people that are super self-disciplined than you. They just find a way to outsmart themselves, guys. And that's something that you can do, So if I'm someone who makes money, but I'm not good at saving it, the best thing I can do is leave an area that has high bills, guys. I'm not good at saving the money, but I love a fancy lifestyle. So I could drop my living standard and pretend I'm still getting debit orders for those other things, but now I've set up a debit order that goes straight to my banking account. That now fools me to think I'm still living the high life and everyone is just debiting their money, but now you're debiting that to your savings guy and you are learning that discipline of not touching the money. Then over time you make a hell of a piggy bank simply by switching your habit and thinking of how you can save money by spending less, guys. And that starts off with living a certain area or being away from certain people that caused you to keep spending a lot. You know what I mean? So to build good habits, guys, it's a process, guys. You know what I mean? It takes time to get to a habit that you want to get to, And the whole thing that James also says is, don't be afraid of the atomic changes, guys, because those are the ones that compile, So for example, if you are someone who doesn't go to gym because you think it's difficult, don't go in there and start lifting the heaviest weights, going too hard, thinking to yourself, you have to be at the gym for an hour. That's not necessary, guys. You are trying to develop the habit of becoming someone who works out, not just someone who goes to the gym. You are trying to become someone who works out on a weekly basis. So to not frighten yourself building this new habit, the first thing you're going to do is you are going to buy some gym clothes, sign up to the gym, and when you get in the gym, you're going to focus on yourself and you go in there and start doing 10-minute workouts, guys. That's it. Start small. Right? Because the goal is to build a habit that you don't have. Your bad habit that you had was you could eat anything you wanted, especially when you could afford it. At any time, you could Uber Eats McDonald's or take a walk to McDonald's. Just because you can buy it, guys, it doesn't mean buy it. You know what I mean? So you now want to flip eating whenever you want, all that junk food, flipped it with, I'm going to work out as often as I can, guys. So the best thing you can do to yourself and your mind, don't go in the gym and start lifting the heavier stuff. You're gonna immediately say, this is not for me. It's too hard, it's too difficult. So with that habit, guys, with any other habit that you want, start it slow, guys. James literally says, just start it slow. Learn the idea of saying, I'm going to start it small, and over time, I'm going to elevate my discipline and what I'm doing. So with the gym example, go to the gym, just work out for 10 minutes, guys. Just work out for 10 minutes, get used to the motions, read about working out, do the light weights. What's important here is you showing up every day, guys. Eventually, your body will pick up. And when it does, maybe now you start adding time, or you start adding some workouts, some reps. You started off with going to the gym for 10 minutes. Now all of a sudden you're at the gym for 15 minutes. Sometimes you flip it over with aerobics. Maybe you take a run that's worth the same length of time. You need to nurse a habit, guys, as you are trying to develop it, taking it slow so that you become someone who wants to work out. The same goes with reading, guys. With me, I started reading books about 2 years ago. I did a hell lot of books as a student, and all of a sudden when I graduated, I stopped reading. I told myself I'm the smartest man in the world. I don't need to read anymore. I drank alcohol, I partied for like 5 to 6 years, and eventually it hit me. I got a wake-up call that said, if the rich people are writing how they made it and putting that in books, and you don't have money, doesn't it make sense to read how they did it? And that is how, guys, I started transforming my life with reading. I started asking myself, it seems all the gold is not in Johannesburg. It seems all the gold is in the library. So once that clicked, guys, I started reading. Now, I didn't get a book and say to myself, let me Google how many books does Bill Gates read in a week. And I heard he reads one whole full book in a week. That's insane, guys. So I started off my book, guys. I took 2 months to finish a book, okay? Each time I was in a vehicle or a moving taxi, instead of looking out the window, I would take the time to just say, let me read a page, guys. Let me read 2 pages. Eventually I got to let me read 4 pages. I'll skip some days. I'm reading today, I'm gonna read tomorrow. I'll take a break. But slowly over time, I started getting the habit in that, I don't want to just become someone who's reading because I told myself I will. I want to become a reader. I want to literally become a reader. So what did I end up doing? I started reading every day with the target of 1 page maximum, nothing less, guys. If I'm on a roll that day, I will hit 3 pages. If I'm not feeling too good or I think I'm busy, I would hit 1 page. But lo and behold, that habit over a year, guys, I managed to finish 5 books in a span of 12 months, And I didn't look at competition like Bill Gates. He probably read 300 books in that's of 12 months. But for me, it was a goal to finish 5 books in 1 year after not reading anything for 5 years, And that's basically what James is saying. And that's why it's even called atomic habits. You need to start small because atoms are very small, right? You can never see it. You need to start small and grow that habit, guys, to eventually get to the level that you want to become, even if it applies to business, family, or anything else. Don't rush certain things, guys. Time it can work on your side if you're smart enough, and become something. Don't just start something and then just leave it halfway. The best thing you can do is to become it. That way you can then be consistent with it, guys. So another example I have is like your room, guys. If you learn the habit of staying clean, then you don't have to spring clean every month or every week, everything just being displaced anywhere in the room. You simply know, when I'm done brushing my teeth, I'm taking my toothbrush and I'm placing it in the container. That's a habit that you start developing, starting a small with your toothbrush, starting a small, waking up your bed. You tell yourself, as soon as I jump off the bed, I look at the bed, I move anything that's there, I tidy up my bed, and then I shower. So now you're cueing your habits, guys, so that you'll never miss a step, And over time, you'll not just become someone who does your bed, you start becoming a clean person, All of a sudden, people else around you won't understand, why is this guy so micromanaging everything? It started out small by knowing that when I'm done with my toothbrush, let me put it back in the toothbrush container, guys. And that pours over to your bed, your bedroom, the whole house, even your work environment, guys. All of a sudden, you start developing this thing is not aligned. This shouldn't be here. Let me fix it and put it properly before I leave, guys. So that's how your habits start pouring over into other things, guys. But like I said, you take it slow. But again, you should want to change, So again, becoming a millionaire, guys, it's about the habits that these people do over time, and people that don't share the same habits as them, when they meet them, you start hearing things like they stuck up. These ones, I think they're using voodoo. They think they're all that, They are so bossy, Now your boss is telling you you can't leave without cleaning your desk before you go. You feel like it's a threat. They're trying to control you, but they have developed the habit of cleaning that you don't have yet. So sometimes you need to sit back, guys, and think to yourself as to why that person is reacting like that, So build the right habits, guys. Check out the book by James Clear. I haven't even talked about 5% of what that book is on about, but all I can just say is your habits accumulate over time, and the sooner you learn them, the better for you, guys. So yeah, shout out to James Clear. Try to get yourself the book, guys, Atomic Habits. I just finished it, and I'm looking forward to my next book, guys. So with that being said, I wanted to make this video so that I can highlight to you guys what he was talking about and how it affected my own life, Like, I never leave my room now without making up my bed, I make sure that anything I take off the shelves, I always put it back where it is, and this has enforced my room to always be clean, simply by developing the habit of I return exactly where I took it from, And that affects my work environment. Before I leave the office, I always make sure that the screen is straight, the pens are on the pen container, the rulers are on the tools container, my keyboard is straight, my mouse is good, my chair is tucked in before I leave, simply because I learned the habit that before I leave my room, everything should be in the right place, guys. So check out the book. Like I said, there's so many things that I'm not going to say in this video, but if you read that book, and then you're really going to get the whole 100 yards, 100% of what he's talking about, breaking down how habits are done and how to maintain them and how to create them, So that's it for me, guys. You need to learn how to handle your habits, because habits eventually scream out to the world as to who you are, and it shows in your dress, it shows in the way you live, it shows in the way you speak that you are a man of high value, discipline, and with super habits, guys. So check your habits and live a life of good habits, guys. because over time it does compile and it does show. So I'm gonna catch you guys on the next video. Subscribe.